Morning, everybody. How you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I am Sean Butler. There's Bugsy Malone, the one you came to see. I hope you're happy and healthy, doing the things you love. I hope you're chasing squirrels like she is. I was chasing squirrels last night in the shape and form of salty Arsenal fans. I was bringing out the receipts. I spent all week listening to Arsenal fans and fans of rival teams from neutral channels telling everybody how Tottenham didn't have a chance, we were going to get torn apart, ripped open at the back. If you have the audacity to come and play Ange ball against us, you're going to find out what levels are. Well, we did find out, didn't we? We did find out. We're 6 games in, 7 games if you include the cup game, into our project. We're undefeated in the league, 4 wins and 2 draws from 6. And we go to one of the most difficult places to play football in the world, at least last season. And we absolutely held our own. It wasn't a performance that couldn't have gone either way. I think that you have to, be honest in the moment, especially when I'm doing the true review, and say the first 25 minutes of the game, first half an hour were Arsenal's. They started brightly. We said that they would. We thought they would. Whether Tottenham could weather the storm and build into the game. But I think there was another variable that affected that whole process, which was the Udogie yellow card early. I thought the referee had a stinker, giving everything 50-50 to them, giving very little to us. But we came out of it. Before we get into anything more on the story, guys, please do me a favour, like the video like you always do. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Join the 18,000 now Tottenham fans that have gone before. Welcome back to all of them. Welcome to the new. Hit the notification bell and drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on today's video. But look, the games did start off. They did have the better of the first sort of 20-25 minutes. And look, I'm not going to sit here and dismiss the variable that they will always point to, which is injuries. I personally think most fans only ever remember their season's injuries when they reflect on how brutally unlucky they've been with injuries and overlook other teams' injuries. Tottenham Hotspur went through periods last year where we had 2 or 3 players out in the same position at the same time, and it really did suffocate our opportunity to make changes and to be less predictable, to have dynamism in our tactics. That coupled with a manager like Conte, and it led to the sorts of outcomes that happened. Tottenham right now are facing something similar with the potential long-term injuries of Brennan Johnson, alongside the definite long-term injury to Perisic. But Arsenal for sure are having their own set of issues. So I don't want to dismiss it as irrelevant, but I also would say it happens to everybody. And if you're going to make that as a defence for why you didn't play better, then you have to be consistent as a fan and allow other people to reflect on those things when they're going through it too. Arsenal, to me, without Martinelli and Trossard and Partey, are clearly a weaker team than when they have those options. They also did lose Declan Rice during the game, and they are now facing the daunting prospect of potentially having a midfield 3 of Jorginho, Kai Havertz and Odegaard for their next 2 games. I think one of them is it Bournemouth up next, and then after that it's Manchester City at home for them at the Emirates. So it's going to be tough for them if they don't get some players back. But beyond that, this argument that's being put around that Arsenal haven't got to their level yet this season, and when they do, they're going to fly, and until they do, they still aren't losing. I'm not sure that that's quite accurate. To me, morning guys, how are you by the way? You in a good mood? Love to see it. Hello mate, you all right? To me, I just don't think that they're anything like the team that they were last year. I really don't. And a lot of teams have gone through periods where they have sort of meteoric rises well ahead of expectations, and then come down the next season back to earth with a big bump. I think that to a degree Leicester did it, to a degree Tottenham have done it, whether you want to include that Premier League run where we finished just behind Leicester and Chelsea, or whether you talk about the Champions League run. Sometimes you get ahead of expectations and it resets expectations, and then for a little while fans think we're not quite there but we're going to get there. But in reality, you just broke through your ceiling last year and now you're coming back down to earth. And I tend to think that that there's a little bit of the latter involved here. I don't think that Arsenal are playing as well as they can, but I also just don't think they're as good as the fans think they are. I really don't. But taking nothing away from Tottenham, because we went there, we played our version of football, and I think that as the game went on, as I said it should and could, we grew in confidence and we were the better team. When we lost Maddison and Sonny in the 75th minute, 70th minute, something like that, we didn't look like we had anything really to go to on the bench that could create that tactical flair. We brought on Richarlison, but without Perisic to bring on to whip the balls into. He's kind of a bit of a lame duck up there. His first touch is far too hard for a player of this level, in my opinion. And he tries to shoot every time he gets the ball and falls over far too much, and it's frustrating. But he's very, very good in the air, and that is the sort of option that you don't mind having if you've got someone who can put the ball on a sixpence. And Perisic's injury, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I think it's going to be more impactful than we realise, because we're kind of losing two players' value in losing one, with Richarlison offering not a lot more unless we can find someone who can put the ball in. Rumours are out there, I was hearing last night, rumours are out there that Jota, ex-Celtic player, is not registered for his Saudi club. They've got too many foreign players, and so he might be cut loose on a free transfer, and that might be a way to get him into Tottenham, and he can certainly provide a lot of value given the injuries that are happening to Perisic. And it looked like Brennan Johnson did his hamstring, which is a terrible thing for someone of his age, especially with the sort of pace that he relies on to go through. So that's a big blow. We'll have to keep an eye on that update when that comes out. And I really hope that Maddison and Sonny's injuries were not, or the reason for their substitutions was not down to injury. There were rumours that that's what happened, but I haven't heard anything more. So let me know in the comments if you have. But what I would say, guys, is that the game itself was ebbing and flowing. I said that they'd get the first 25 minutes. They did. I think that the yellow card to Udogie really suffocated our ability to press down that left-hand side, down our left, down their right-hand side. Saka had a field day for the next 15, 20 minutes. Udogie was forced to step off. Brennan Johnson wasn't getting back to support him. And Saka had, acres and acres of space. And even for the actual goal, Brennan Johnson made a run to track Ben White and split Udogie and Saka open, which was just a weird thing to see. Shouldn't have happened. Udogie should have been tighter. And consequently, then he whips the ball and it comes off of Romero, who, I couldn't see it when I was there at the real time, but I've watched it back. It did look like a lazy, rash boot being put out, and so you have to criticise Romero a little bit for that one. Sloppiness, I think. I think apart from that, I think he had a really good game. And I think the handball was 50-50. You've seen them given and you've seen them not given. But I would say that if that same thing happens, but it's at Tottenham, it's probably not given. The home team's probably going to get the advantage on that scenario. Just because of human nature, I guess. But to me, I thought Romero had a good game. I thought Pedro Porro and Udogie were excellent as the game moved on. Their ability to get forward, sit into that pocket in the inverted fullback role and help out Basuma in the midfield. It kind of creates your midfield, turns your midfield into like a real neat, tidy triangle, and both of them are getting better and better with their ability to press, their timing. their ability to win the ball back high up the pitch and just offer danger. And for me, Pedro Porro, I watched the highlights back, the extended highlights, from what I could see. His getting forward is brilliant. The question marks have always been about his ability to defend. And I actually think that he is getting better and better and better at that side of his game. And it's a wonderful thing to see. And I guess we're all in the mud, I've been saying it, for doubting him, because he's such a mentality monster, that guy, that you know that he's going to deliver or drive for excellence, even if he's sort of naive into certain roles. So I think with Pedro Porro, we've got an absolute a star that's going to continue to improve and grow. And don't forget, he's only 23. People overlook that because of what he's achieved and where he's come from and all that stuff. But he's actually still got a long way to go in his career, a long, long way to go. And it's just beautiful things. Look, I think James Maddison got the Man of the Match award for the 2 assists primarily and for his dogged pressing. But, you know, Arsenal fans are right when they say, you know, Jesus puts that ball in the back of the net when he picks the pocket of Maddison. Entirely different game, isn't it? Entirely different game. It doesn't happen though, swings and roundabouts. I heard Arsenal fans last night saying they could be 3 or 4-0 up, as though a save from Vicario is something that is not him just doing his job from a tight angle, and that that somehow should count towards the argument that Arsenal were a better team than Tottenham. Vicario was spectacular. He wasn't at fault for the goal, either of the goals, obviously, and he did brilliant saves when he was called upon. And I feel like I was vindicated when I said that the combined 11 on this season's form should have Vicario ahead of Ramsdale or Raya. For what it's worth, and again, this counteracts the argument that Arsenal could have been 4-0 up. Brennan Johnson had a wonderful chance to put Tottenham in the lead, and I think it was 0-0 when it happened. Maybe it was 1-0 to Arsenal already, but he kind of scuffs a brilliant play from Maddison, brilliant play from Porro down the right. They all connected, and Sonny brings the ball across. Just a really brilliantly worked team goal that ended up with Brennan Johnson seemingly having an open goal, but he kind of kicks the ball with his right into his left, and it's still going on target, and an absolutely fantastic save from David Raya. A really, really world-class save. But I think you have to kind of look at Brennan Johnson and say, you know, didn't time the shot correctly anywhere else though, and it goes in the back of the net. But look, we fought back, and I think that's the main takeaway for me from this is another example of Tottenham's mentality monster settings. You know, we don't worry if we go a goal down. Nothing changes. We work. If anything, we step on a gear when we go 1-0 down. Twice we did it against Arsenal, to go 2 goals down or 1 goal down and pull it back, and then go down again. You'd think heads would drop. Not at Tottenham. Not this time. Not under Ange. We never stop is his phrase, and I feel like that's somehow being demonstrated. I don't know what it is that Ange has installed into these players. You'd love to be able to be in the dressing room just once to hear what sort of message he's putting out there, but it seems to be adopted, seems to be agreed upon, and Tottenham are just a team that you're never going to write off of any game. They did it against Sheffield United. I also said I think that the way that the Sheffield United result happened, being 1-0 down in the 96th minute and coming back to win, that's exactly what you needed as an outcome in the methodology going into the Arsenal game, because, and I said this, you would likely find ourselves with 1 goal deficits during the game and need to have that belief to get back in, and it was showed twice. So a wonderful result. I really enjoyed letting all the Arsenal fans have it last night. I'm really sorry I can't get the vlog up. I've recorded all these interviews, but I had the wrong setting on this device, and all of the the audio is not connecting properly. So unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to, unless I can figure out a way to fix it post edit. I don't think I'll be able to get the match day vlog up. But I do want to say a shout out to the Tottenham fans that I met who jumped on the interviews, and even those who were just part and parcel of the conversation throughout the day. But also to the Arsenal fans that are watching this, that are looking out for their appearance. I do apologise, guys, but I don't think the audio is going to be able to pick it up properly. But very cool of you all to participate, and yeah, better luck next time. Going forward, guys, like I say, I really think that Tottenham, I think the biggest test now is Liverpool. I think we've got an international break then, or was it Luton next, then an international break again. I think Liverpool will be a bigger test. They're playing just some brilliant football. They're a very settled team. I don't think we've beaten Liverpool for a long time at any ground. Be a really great game next week. We just need to make sure that we've got as many of the players back. I hope that Sonny's not injured. I really hope that Maddison isn't injured. And we'll go again. I think you have to kind of also just reflect on our defence and recognise that even though we've conceded, 7 goals in 6 games, something like that, in the league, the majority of our goals conceded are through own goals or deflections, and those things can be ironed out. Those are things that are going to happen, but most teams don't break us down through their own play. Most teams have to rely on penalties or unfortunate incidents to be able to get on the score sheet against us. Against Liverpool, it's going to be a brilliant test. Mo Salah always has a field day against Tottenham. Can Udogie figure out a way to not give away a yellow card to him early in the game? I thought he was brilliant as the game progressed. Arsenal ended up giving up trying to attack Saka down the right and went down the left instead, because Udogie kind of figured him out, and I think that that's a wonderful thing to see from someone so young and so talented. Shout out to the whole team though, I thought they were all fantastic. I just hope that we can get through the Liverpool game unscathed. I can't wait to get there, can't wait to see everybody again. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Who was your man of the match? Like, subscribe and comment, and as always,